What jumps out looking at that box score?
I'd say our assist to turnover ratio is really good. And that's always a great indicator of just a good night at the office.
You're basically played the same minutes tonight that you had been coming off the bench. Is it different, though, starting?
Not really. I just try to keep the same approach, have fun, communicate, get great looks, and just, yeah, those three things.
I think you have like 50-something made threes this month on 40.
This guy's trying to jinx me.
Some percent. I know even in the rougher times this season, you felt good shots and your shot was there, but like, how good a rhythm do you currently feel in?
I feel really good. I would like to repeat this performance in Orlando tomorrow night because these games are so crucial, obviously, and I think it's just about enjoying this, obviously, but once we get on that plane and we leave Miami, we got to turn the page because the NBA does not wait for you, so we gotta focus, man. Orlando's playing really good too, so we got a big task tomorrow.
You held the Heat to 40% shooting overall, and I believe 37 points combined in the second half. What was the key to that? Was it a better effort from you guys? Was it them cooling down?
I think we played well as far as not letting them get downhill and in the paint repeatedly. I mean, Bam is a really good player. It helps when they're missing, their elite scorers and Jimmy and Hero. So that obviously was a big reason why. But other than that, give Draymond great credit too. I mean, he made it hard on Bam. Bam made some really tough jumpers on him, but Draymond's such a great post defender. He's hard to go against for 35 to 40 minutes a night.
Obviously, you mentioned how you feel good in terms of your play, but what pride do you have in terms of just the second half of your play yourself individually?
I mean, I've been prideful ever since I laced up basketball sneakers. A lot of my, you don't want to say identity, but of who I am is reflected how I play on the basketball court. And my father was a hooper. My older brother is a hooper, and I am as well. So I take great pride in just trying to be my best nightly. It's a really hard thing to do, but it's what the greats aspire to do on a nightly basis. And I'm just a prideful player at the end of the day.
Klay, I wanted to ask you about Kuminga. Is there something specific that you've seen evolve, or is this just time and reps and work?
I think his rhythm to the game has gotten so much better. He knows when to take a jump shot. He knows when to attack. He plays above the rim. He's a two-way player, and he's oozing with potential. And then you forget he's only 21 years old. So you get excited for his future. I mean, I've been very impressed with the work ethic he's displayed the past couple years, and I know he's going to be a future star in this league.
Had you met Neymar before?
Yeah, we met all the way back in 2016. So I've known Neymar for a while, and big fan of basketball, and we're all a big fan of football. So we just respect his greatness.
Klay, the Heat have been a team known to give up, some of the most threes in the league for years now. And going into tonight, do you know, I'm sure you know that going in, was that part of the strategy as far as you having such a big game tonight, just knowing that was going to be available for you?
We do know that they're a very great help defending team, and they cover up their mistakes well. For us, we thrive off making threes, obviously, Steph and I, so we see a couple go in, it always helps early, and it was an emphasis to draw to and kick to start the game, and I thought we did that well throughout the whole 48 minutes.
You mentioned, kind of the importance of the Orlando game tomorrow. Mm-hmm. How late is it starting to feel, and how challenging is it starting to feel with what's, ahead of you guys, standings-wise, lack of time left?
Challenging, but you can't be intimidated by what's ahead. You just got to take it one game at a time. And most importantly, have fun and play your hardest, and you can live with the results. But like I said before, you can't look ahead. You just got to do what you got to do that's in front of you, and it happens to be the Magic tomorrow.
Now that the team is almost fully healthy, how is the team confidence that you guys can make a big push heading into the playoffs?
Very confident. It's been we're very confident we can make a run, but we're not even thinking about the postseason. We still have 11, 12 games left, and we want to finish as strong as possible, whether it's 9 wins, 10 wins, 11. We know it's doable. So it's about just simplifying things and just looking ahead to the game tomorrow.
Steve praised Andrew Wiggins' defense on Rozier, especially in the second half. It seems like he's been a little bit more aggressive offensively recently. How different is this team when he is kind of hunting his shot and getting going on both ends?
That's why we won the championship a couple years ago, is because of Andrew's two-way play. We obviously need him to be that, to go where we want to go, and he's so vital to what we do. Without him, we cannot reach our full potential, so we all love Wiggs, and we know what he's capable of, and like you said, his defense is, when he's playing tenacious defense, it's going to fuel his ability to get to the rim, and just his confidence will improve as well.
Nice.
Cool. Thank you. Steph will be in here shortly.
Thanks, Clay.
Oh, yeah.
What dynamic did Klay bring back to the starting lineup tonight?
Obviously his gravity, his ability to give us, spacing on the floor. I think it was an effort to unlock JK and Wiggs, give them driving lanes and get them more involved early in the game. Obviously they're really kind of sneaky in some of the defensive schemes they have, and zone, man, different coverages, Bam, protecting the rim. So it's helpful to have, Klay out there doing what he does. And it's a credit to him just in general on being able to respond to whatever he's been asked to do this year, whether it's coming off the bench, whether it's starting. Most people think that might be, I don't know, maybe they think it's easy to just transition from one to the other, and it's not. You have to kind of prepare your mind to, and your body to be ready for whatever, is thrown at you. So it's credit to him and his attitude and his preparation and, going out there and hooping the way he does.
Steph, you guys held the Heat to 40% shooting in the second half, and I believe 37 combined points after them shooting about 51% in the first half. What was the biggest change for you guys on that side of the floor?
Just playing a little bit more physical. We kept getting beat on back cuts, and even whether they scored or not, it was causing our defense to have to react, and then they would open up either a three for somebody in a corner or just a breakdown that would, give them space. I think we got a little bit more discipline in the second half. It's the NBA. There's so much talent out there. Obviously, they're missing a lot of guys. But if you give, them confidence and, their patterns start to, attack you, that's when they're lethal. I don't care who's out there. So we were very much more disciplined in the second half to keep things in front of us, make them take tough shots, and you live with it.
Steph, Bam's talked about in the past, there was a play in his rookie year where he was guarding you, and it was kind of the play that put him on the defensive map. I'm just wondering number one, if you remember that play, and two, just what are the ways you've seen him develop defensively and kind of matching up in that way?
I do remember that play for sure. It was in this building. He's versatile. He's long. He can move his feet. He's obviously a great rim protector. And, there's a reason they've been in the finals twice. Obviously, what Jimmy's able to do and the guys around him, but Bam's a huge part of connecting the game on both ends. He's obviously a great weapon on the offensive end with he can put pressure on the rim. He's got mid-range. He hit a three tonight. They run a lot of actions around him. So then you add that to the defensive, presence. That's why he's an all-star. That's why he is who he is.
Steph, there's a lot of teams that can make a reasonable argument why they're going to be the team at the end that wins the whole thing. Is this the most parity? Would you even call it that? Is this the most parity that you can remember? And is it good that there's a lot of teams that clearly have stepped up in recent years and can compete for the whole thing?
It's great for the league. It hasn't been good for us this year. We've been on a nice run since January 1st and haven't really made up any ground in the conference standings. But yeah, you want to see capable teams all around the league. I think on paper, right, like it's names in the Western Conference and it's great teams, and the combination of all of that, to your point, it wouldn't be a surprise if any of the top, 10, 11, whatever, made a run. Obviously, Denver being the champs and still at the top of the standings, they're the champs until somebody beats them, and even on the other side. So, yeah, it's great to see, that much competition, and I'm sure it'll be a show down the stretch of the season and the playoffs with whatever matchups happen, and a lot of excitement around the league.
Steph, Klay said that the team is confident to make a push towards the playoff. What does the team need to do better to make that big push?
Play a brand of basketball like we did tonight. I think we were, like I said, in the second half, we were a lot more disciplined, a lot more physical on defense. We took care of the basketball tonight, which is a big deal for us, the way that we play. Kept the turnovers down, created some really good looks, but can't get too ahead of ourselves. Just take it. I know y'all love that answer. Take it a game at a time. And but honestly, that's our only way to get to where we want to go, because it's been a wild roller coaster of emotions this year for us.
Steph, the Heat are known for kind of doing everything they can to take away the other team's best player. I know you played against them for years and you faced every coverage, but going into a game like this tonight, how does that affect your mentality, knowing that, you can get these, force two to the ball possessions and other guys will be open, or does it mix you up in any way, not knowing what type of defenses they're going to run?
It challenges you to kind of see the game, and I was kind of talking about earlier, whether it's a zone possession, a man possession, they were pressing. It tests your patience for sure, because you don't know when your looks are going to come. You're going to see bodies. I think there was a couple possessions I came off of pin downs and caught it, and there were two people there, got by them. There's another person back there, and we swing, we got a good look. They were trapping off with ISO possessions and get the body, hands, and swing it, find the open guy. They got Loon that dunked down in the fourth quarter because they were paying a lot of attention to our perimeter. So as long as you just stay patient and see what's in front of you, keep your turnovers down, don't get rushed, then whether I'm taking a shot or getting a good look, that's good offense.
And you mentioned the roller coaster of the year, obviously with emotions and quick turnaround for you guys with Orlando. But what stands out to you to some bit of the success that you guys have had on the road?
That's why we think we're still a good team that can beat anybody, because we can. Our defense can travel. We've had good performances. Even at home, we've had big leads on good teams, but have let us slip. So, we don't. Our record doesn't. You are what your record is. That's what the line is. But we do feel like we've kind of underachieved on that front, but there's still belief that you can get hot, that you can establish the identity that you need to have to be a team that can win 4 games against anybody in the Western Conference in a playoff series. And until we don't have that opportunity anymore, we're going to still believe it.
Just to follow up on the earlier questions about the way the Heat toggle between defensive schemes, why do you think more teams don't play that way?
You have to be a very disciplined team and a very connected team, because it requires a lot of trust and communication. Obviously, I have a great coach that year after year, they have their core, but they have fine guys that plug those holes and play a certain brand of basketball. So if it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
How good has Klay been for an extended stretch now?
He's been great. Like I was talking about earlier, I think there's nobody that could handle the kind of whether you're off the bench, you're starting, how many minutes you play in comparison to his entire career and his body of work. Nobody can handle it like Klay in the sense of, just being prepared, accepting his, what he's asked to do and going out and performing. And I think he shot the ball extremely well as of late. He's been very consistent. And he's given us a huge boost in whatever role he's played. So it's a challenge. He could have gone the other way in the sense of, resisting the evolution of what he's been asked to do this year. And he's responded extremely well. We need that energy because he gives us so much on that front like he did tonight.
Cool, thank you.